Question of the day, what is your favorite hidden role game? We're getting moving quick today because we're going to cover a lot of ground, not just in one game, but we're doing a bonus review for the Elegoo Mars 3 printer. It's a 3D printer, as well as the wash and cure station that goes with it, because I love filling in these kind of shorter, smaller games, backing them with the 3D print stuff that I've been doing. I love talking about this. So first of all, we're talking about Hello Neighbor Secret Neighbor game, which is a hidden role game based in this whole Hello Neighbor world, which you probably heard your kids talk about, etc. I don't know anything about it. I know nothing about the source material, but that should not preclude a game from being good on its own merit. So let's take a look at this hidden role game, all about the Hello Neighbor series. So here's essentially the components for this game. This is the Secret Neighbor Party game. You also get a rule book, obviously, but I also like this as a quick setup guide. Yes, it's quick start, but it's also, for me, quick setup because it tells you exactly the amount of things for the amount of people, amount of keys, etc., and all that sort of stuff. So what the goal of the game is you're going to give these different roles out. Now we've got 2 neighbors, 5 kids. So it's a 7-person game, I think is what I've got set up right here. Yeah, 2 neighbors, 5 kids. The secret neighbor does not know who the neighbor is, but the neighbor does in fact know who the secret neighbor is. The goal is for the neighbor and secret neighbor to try to get the key into their hands and then vote for them to use their key, at which point they'll say, I'm not using my key, I refuse, or something like that. I do not know anything about the source material, except that it's wildly popular with the Five Nights at Freddy's demo. So, anyway, what you're going to do is you're going to, on your turn, you're going to start out by trying to get cards in your hands. You're going to have a hand of 4 cards. Your goal is to get an action that you can use. So if you have 3 of the same card, you can use as action. So the lever just steals the power. Flashlight lets you look at other players' cards and take one of them. The trash can forces them to discard. The magnet pulls a key. And then the box lets you see 3 other people's rolls. And then you can move a key with that to someone else. So ideally, you're going to be taking these actions, but what happens is there's a phase in which you walk around the room and chat with each other and say, hey, I'll give you a flashlight for a lever. Hey, you got a lever? I'll give you a flashlight. Whatever. Trying to make deals, make trades. Now, you can time that if you want, or you can do it to your heart's content. It's one of the fun parts of the game, is that manipulation and talking to each other. Once you're set, you go into the action phase. Timing is based on really whoever says it first, but if there's a tie for problem, an issue with timing, you can tap the box. Whoever taps the box gets to take their action first. You then, during that action phase, at any point can call for a vote and say, hey, if all the keys are out, if all the keys are out, you can call for a vote and say, hey, I want to vote now. I nominate that so-and-so uses their key. And we say, okay, do we want to vote for that person to use the key? We do. If they're a kid, they reveal their role, show that they're a kid, great, and we continue until all the keys are voted on. If they're the neighbor, the secret neighbor, they win the game. You rinse and repeat for the evening, have a good time. But that is literally all that you do. Don't hear that as a pejorative. Let's go talk final thoughts right now. So that's it. First and foremost, let me just tell you, I have not laughed and enjoyed playing a game like this kind of a game in a long time, like we did with this one. I went in fully expecting to hate this and be like, this is dumb, this is just some YouTube video, or at least a hack of somebody playing this on a YouTube video with some family like, hey, it's the Family Fun video series. You know what I'm talking about if you've got young kids. I thought that's what this was. Turns out, this is a really fun game because of the multiple negotiation moments. Yes, it does have the same tropes as many of the great hidden role games, but are we going to really say that new games can't come out using the same mechanics? Looking at you, all the other great mechanics that get new spins every year. Because here's what's up. Don't dismiss this like I did immediately, because I immediately looked at it and went, eh. But first of all, components-wise, the box is small, which is nice. The little keys are nice. It looks cool. I like that. I like the idea that you get up and walk around the room and you're like, psst, you got any levers? I can get you a box if you give me a lever. I like that move because it means you can lie to one person and then tell the truth to the other person and then play them against each other. Those little moments of negotiation are what make this game shine to me. So is it the best negotiation hidden role game out there? No, I think that still probably goes to the Resistance, even though once you played the Resistance, you can start to play the game of playing the Resistance, where you basically meta it out. This one has a little less chance of meta, even though if you play with the same people, of course you're going to pick up on their tells. That's not the game's fault, that's just your friend's fault, which is great. That's what makes hidden role games so fun. So, at the end of the day, I'm keeping this in my collection to play because we had such a blast doing it. Talking about, no, you're the secret neighbor. Well, I saw 3 cards, and then it's just one of those things where you can easily mess yourself up by saying the wrong thing without thinking about it, and then all the shade gets thrown on you, and there's no way out at that point. So you have to play the game correctly. I like hidden movement games, hidden role games that don't involve some sort of game mechanic outing you. I like it when they're people deducing who you are by how you're acting. And so the Secret Neighbor game, Hello Neighbor game, this was a fun game. I enjoyed the heck out of this. It's probably not going to make a huge splash just because people might do what I did and go, it's Hello Neighbor, I'm not interested. But I assure you, this one's fun if your group is the right kind of group for this. If you're playing with a group you don't know really, it's not going to be the best. But if you have your friends over, the ones that you know how to play games with and you really enjoy, this one's going to be a hit. I really enjoyed it. So that's enough about Hello Neighbor, Secret Neighbor game. I really enjoyed the heck out of this game. It's a fun hidden role game. Go check it out. If you can get your hands on this, I assure you, play with a big group, really enjoy that. So enough about that. Let's talk about 3D printing. You know from my segments on Board Game Breakfast, I love 3D printing. So we're taking a look at a new machine today. This is the Elegoo Mars 3, and it is a game changer. Now hear me when I say this. A lot of you have asked me about getting into 3D printing. And I always point to a different machine or things like that. Where do I start? I firmly believe that resin printing is going to take over FDM printing one day. This still has a smaller print bed, but it's bigger than any of the things I've talked about before by a little bit, but it's so fast. We're talking about 2-second layers, which means that my first machine I ever had was an 8-second layer, all the way down to 2-second layer. If something's 100 layers, that's 200 seconds versus 800 seconds. It's a massive difference. And the quality of the prints, as I'm showing you right now, are incredible. I did this entire chariot on this printer. Every piece of this was printed on this printer, and oh my gosh, the detail is phenomenal. So now as far as setting it up, you might have an issue with shipping because when I opened mine up, I had to put the tape, like the electrical, not tape like electrical tape, but the circuit board tape that goes from the back of the main motherboard all the way up to the LCD screen. I had to make sure it was pushed tightly because my screen didn't come on. As soon as I got that done, it worked perfectly. Just got jostled coming and shipping. So just be on the lookout for those kind of things. But ever since then, I have never had a more accurate printer that hits its goal every single time. I've never had a failed print with this. That's high praise. And I have put this through more testing than any of the other machines I've done before. I have never had a failed print on this. Every single print has come out perfect on this. No issues, no sticking, nothing. It cleans up nicely. It does such a good job. And I think it's that screen being the mono screen or whatever it is, the very high definition. It just hits it so precise that there's never been an issue with failing. And that blows me away to know that I go and set this machine up, turn it on, 4 hours later instead of 10 hours. 4 hours later, I come out there and my print is done right and precise. Knowing that is a game changer. So I cannot say enough good things about this. Here's some footage of it in the shop and of the Elegoo wash and cure station. So this is the beauty that I wanted to show you. Look at this. So we're almost at the end here. Got some Loki horns pointing. Watch this. This layer is going to take and go. Done. 2 seconds. A 2-second layer is unreal. I mean, you see those horns there coming out of the vat. Those look fantastic, but 2 seconds per layer is a total game changer. Now look at the sleek design of the machine. I really like how it looks. It's much sleeker. That design is nice because it sets it apart. Plus, here's just something kind of basic. You can tell which end's the front. Look at the 2 versus the 3. You can tell which end's the front a lot bigger. That little bit extra of a build plate over the 2 is so nice to have too. Just that little bit of extra room is so fun, so much usefulness, so useful when you're trying to do it. So look at the speed of this is incredible. This is a 5.5 hour print. If I was to do this on the Elegoo Mars 2, you're talking about 6 hours versus 5 hours. 6 seconds per layer versus 5 seconds. So look at the amount of layers. That's a huge difference. So I just want to show you some incredible detail from the Mars 3. This is an insane, this is only 6 inches tall, this print, but look at the insane detail. Now again, some of that goes to the sculpt, but the fact that this printer is able to capture that is all on the printer. I mean, look, there's Dracula's coffin from Castlevania, and like the room itself has detail. This is an incredibly detailed printer, and this is a game changer for this size. And I know I've reviewed other printers before, and I've always had high praise about them, but they just keep getting better to the point where eventually this type of printer here is going to be obsolete, in my opinion. We're going to get to that point where you won't need the FDM style, and that's okay, because FDM is still nice because it's very durable, and that's what resin printing fails at, is durability. But it's going to come to a point where we have the resin printer availability that is so good that we rarely need to use the FDM anymore unless for really strong materials. But even then, there's things like Seriatex Tenacity that are tenacious that will even get us around that. Now down here's the wash and cure station. I love the amount of liquid that this thing holds. It will cure and wash, or this will wash anything you have. It's an enormous amount of liquid, and you can reuse that, by the way. And then this over here also, it's humongous. So when you put it on the plate and it just spins, you're talking about, you can fit 4 of these on here easily, plus you can fit a giant helmet. Anything that you're printing, you can fit on this cure station, which I absolutely love. This has been a game changer. The single knob is great, plus they run off one power cord, which is really kind of a pain sometimes to have multiple power cords back here. So running it off one, that's huge to me. I can't say enough good things about these two sets of products. If you're looking to get into resin 3D printing, and I know a lot of you are because you're hearing me talk about it more and more, this is the way to go. I know the 2 I gave high praise to the 2 because the 3 didn't exist yet. Forget anything I've ever said thus far. The Elegoo Mars 3 is the best of this size entry-level printer for the money. It is so stinking good. It is a phenomenal machine that is ready to use pretty much out of the box. You just turn it on, get that leveling done quickly, and it is one of the best machines out there on the market for what it's cost, for what it is. So if you can go get your hands on it, go get your hands on it right now. You say, okay, it's a little bit pricey, but again, what you can make with this is so amazing. It's next level game changer stuff. For instance, we've got a prototype for a board game that we're doing, and I have pieces that I printed from my mini factory. I made the figures and then put them out there, and now I have these pieces. I'm not going to show you too closely because I don't want to give any secrets away about the game, but these are figures that I printed for it. Just the little things like that. You think, oh, well, what can I use it for? Oh my gosh, did you see the miniature up there? Look at this Roman bust that I did. It's just amazing the amount of things you can do for board gaming. Just for board gaming alone is so good. So that is the Elegoo Mars 3. I'm a huge fan of this machine. If anyone asks me in the future where to start, this is the one. You know your budget, you know what's up. There are machines that are slightly cheaper, but again, the price for this compared to what they used to be is out of this world good value. So enough about that. The wash and cure station is a no-brainer. Yes, you could get your own tub and vat and wash it around with your hand and some gloves and then stick it out in the sunlight or in a vat of LEDs. That's true. But if you're going to splurge to get this, you won't be sorry because it keeps your workspace so clean and neat and tidy and automated. That's what I love about it. You stick it in there, hit the button, 5 minutes later, come back, shake it off, let it air dry for a second, move it over to the cure station, 5-6 minutes, done. Nothing better than that. So, big fan of the wash and cure station. If you're going to go with the wash and cure station, this is the one to get. It comes in 2 separate pieces, so you're not having to do that thing where you pick up the one and move it over and put the base in and switch it. None of that. This is all one piece, one machine. It's a game changer. So, hope you enjoyed this review. A lot of stuff to talk about. Go get Secret Neighbor game, Hello Neighbor. What a fun hidden role game. If you're into 3D printing, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to talk with you more about this. I was gonna print the Hello Neighbor model, but I could not find a suitable model on Thingiverse or anywhere. So if you see anything like that, let me know because it'd be great to add to the game. But let me know what you 3D print for board gaming or what you want to 3D print for board gaming because there's so many options out there now. So I'm Bryan Drake here on the Dice Tower. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, etc. I'll see you at Gen Con if you're gonna be there. Come say hi. I know I'm looking forward to it. We'll see you soon.